Star Wars: The Last Jedi deleted scenes. I'm Joe. Richie couldn't be with us because it's 7 a.m. and I got up early to watch some deleted scenes. The digital copy was released today and I went right to the deleted scenes to check them out and see how deleted they were, and they were deleted. Please subscribe to our channel. We have plenty of great videos coming up. I'm going to be doing reviews of Krypton. Richie's been doing reviews of The Walking Dead. I'm also going to do Lost in Space, Pops, food. Check us out. We'd love to have you along for the ride. The deleted scenes starts with him introducing the deleted scenes. I don't know if that's something that's happening on a lot of these discs, but it felt completely unnecessary, and it felt like him just putting his foot in his mouth. Like him having to explain, you know, I understand there's always commentary on deleted scenes, that's common, but him having to put his face in front of you and explain, oh, you know, these had to be deleted and I'm glad we get to show it to you. It's like, you know, my friend Mike, who was in our last Jedi forum video, has been talking about how Rian Johnson's been putting his foot in his mouth, just kind of defending the film, and it's like, that's what this felt like in his little opening to deleted scenes. It's just like this. Listen, Rian Johnson, you won. Lucasfilms and Disney gave you the keys to the franchise with this movie. They were impressed with you that they even gave you another 3 movies to make. And you feel the need to defend yourself so much. Like, calm down, stop it, you don't have to. Intro to the deleted scenes, useless. Crawl goes down, you see Finn wakes up before the battle. In the movie, obviously, you don't see Finn until after the whole opening battle part. This was just an alternate editing cut, and I think the way it was cut was clearly better. I'm sure some people aren't crazy about the characters of Poe and Finn, but the first part was about Poe, so really didn't need Finn to wake up. So no, that was a good choice getting rid of that. Paige was Rose's sister, who was the hero who managed to drop the bomb on the dreadnought before getting killed. And it was just a scene of her shooting in her gunner position and her gun jams, and she gets it to unjam, and she holds her, you know, her little symbol that she has half of and Rose has the other half of. That's it. Pointless scene. Not necessary. I mean, we knew she had the thing, the pendant from, you know, when she gets blown to bits. Not necessary at all. I mean, they made a toy of her. Maybe that's why they had no extra scenes of her, but no, not necessary. Fine, get rid of that. In the film, after Chewie breaks down Luke's door, where's Han? Wait a minute, where's Han? That scene kind of extends out, where they kind of run off, and then Luke runs into another room, sits down, and starts crying. That, I think, could have made it. Just because it showed Luke crying for Han, I think people would have liked to have seen that. I think people wanted to see Luke and Han together. We were cheated of that, but it would have been nice to see Luke grieving for Han. Maybe we kind of got it a little bit when he was walking around the Falcon, so I can understand the reason it was cut. It would have been nice to see. This was just garbage. This maybe was a scene that if you were a Poe Finn shipper, you would have liked to have seen in it. Poe is just explaining to Finn that they blew up Starkiller Base and blah, blah, blah. And then Poe hands him back his jacket with some bad stitching in the back after the slice that Kylo Ren gave him through his spinal cord. And so Poe basically hands Finn back Poe's original jacket. No. Finn is sitting there with the transponder, I guess, that the communication device that Leia had back with Rey. And I guess he's just down on his luck and, I don't know, upset or whatever. And BB-8 comes over, tries to cheer him up, and then plays a video of part of the last scenes of The Force Awakens, where Rey is just over a comatose Finn. We'll see each other again. It was just a replaying of something that happened in The Force Awakens. It had a cute little line where Finn looks at BB-8 and says, "Kind of weird that you recorded that, but thank you," and then he, you know, jumps into action. Nah, not necessary at all. Fun little line, not necessary, a good cut. After the whole first part where Rey and Kylo Ren communicate with each other through the Force, and she shoots the gun at him, and it ends up, you know, breaking up one of the caretaker's little huts. Just a few extra seconds of one of the caretakers like slapping on a dead fish and cleaning it up. Nah. Meh. After the second lesson, they walk outside and they see a bunch of bonfires where the caretakers are. Luke says to her that the caretakers are being raided, and she's like, I gotta help them, I gotta help them. And he says, well, the Jedi book says that if you help them, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to fight out of anger. You're not supposed to go help them. And that if you help them next year, their raiding party's gonna come stronger and more powerful than ever. She ignores that, runs to the caretaker's village. You have that shot of her running in the field with the lightsaber already active, which never made the film. So that cool scene from the trailer is in there. She gets there, she slices through, opens it up, and the caretakers are just having a party. So Luke basically lied to her. They were just having a party. She's really annoyed. You see even, Chewie and BB-8 are at the party, and Chewie's like showing off that he's got some good grub. Then she has a conversation with Luke, and Luke basically says, basically says that what you've just done is what the Resistance needs, someone willing to go to action. But she's pissed off at him that she thinks it was a silly prank, and that the Luke Skywalker she believed in doesn't exist anymore, or something like that, and she gets snappy with him. This scene I wish had stayed. I wish it had stayed because Rey, the DVD cover, or now the Blu-ray or digital copy cover, I think they've altered the poster that she's front and center. Rey's the most interesting character, the clearly most interesting new character. Everybody wanted to see Luke in this film. There's not 1 minute of Luke that they could have cut. Everything Luke should have been in it. So showing Luke be a little bit of a trickster, but then also realize maybe what he did was wrong. More Rey. That should have stayed in the film. That should have absolutely stayed in the film. And it was the third lesson, which we never saw. Why do we never see the third lesson? He said, I'm going to teach you 3 lessons, and we only got 2. If George Lucas ever gets the rights back to Star Wars, maybe he'll put it back in the special edition when he's 103. Who knows? Now, the Canto Bight sequence itself was already way too long in the movie, and some might even argue completely pointless. In the deleted scenes is a 5+ minute extended farrier chase. Portions of it made the film, obviously, but it's just an extended version where they're going through more roofs, and they show a bathhouse on Canto Bight. And I have to be fair. The one thing that people complained about with the original prequels, or with the prequels, was the amount of CGI and the lack of practical effects. So they put a lot of effort into Canto Bight and a lot of effort into the practical effects of this world, which was appreciated but completely unnecessary. So it's like you had a lot of practical effects on filler. So I'm glad this went, and in fact, I wish this 5-minute sequence was like 11 minutes, which would have meant another 6 minutes of it was taken out of the film. So yeah, that all had to go. That's fine. I wish more of it went. I wish more of the Canto Bight sequence had gone. I would have been more than fine with that. A couple laughs in there, though. It's worth watching. A couple laughs. As I said, they go through a bathhouse, which was a bit much, and they even have one of the naked aliens running out and getting scooped away by a farrier. So, worth a watch, but glad it's gone. The famous Tom Hardy scene that everybody talked about, where he recognizes Finn, kind of congratulates him, slaps him on the butt for, making it up the ranks, not realizing that he defected. I guess that wasn't common knowledge. It kind of sucks that you brought Tom Hardy in and his scene left, but at least it's on the deleted scenes. Tom Hardy, of course, is the master of awful voices, and once again, he does kind of an awful sort of it's unintelligible southernish accent under the mask. It was just weird. I'm glad it went. Bye-bye. General Hux grabs Rose's pendant thing and puts it back over her neck and says some witty little crap. You may draw a little blood from us, but we'll always destroy you. She bites his hand. And there's a little extended sequence there of him, and then after he gets his hand back, he goes, execute them, and walks off. That could have been cute. I mean, it was only a minute. I mean, I don't know why that was really cut. It was kind of neat to see that she, bit his hand. Didn't really add anything. It just showed she's got a little pepper. Yeah, maybe it would have sold a few more Rose Tico figures if they kept that scene in. So yeah, I actually say keep that one in. It looks like he slices her, breaks her helmet. She falls, but she hangs on. And then they have an extended little thing where they're on a platform raising, and he's surrounded by 4 stormtroopers and her. blows up her spot about how she let down the shields from Starkiller Base. She's like, who would believe such a story? That she kills her own men. He slices off her hand, shoots her, she goes flying. Now, Gwendolyn Christie is beloved for her work on the Game of Thrones. She also has expressed an interest in like really investing in the character of Phasma. Phasma was a character introduced in The Force Awakens, maybe with the intention that there was gonna be more from her in the next films, and there was no more from her in the next film. She basically shows up in the third act and is quickly dispatched. Rian Johnson undid a lot of the Force Awakens stuff, and that was one of the things he undid, is just basically any kind of build-up from Captain Phasma was just taken away. This was another minute of her. At the end of the day, it was unnecessary to the pacing. Her just falling into a fiery chasm was more than enough. We don't really need to see, you know, oh, you betrayed the First Order, who cares? Bye-bye, Captain Phasma. This is just a shot of them flying out of the Star Destroyer as it blows up, and Rose says to Finn, where do we go now? And Finn says, where we belong. I mean, they belong with the Resistance. Blech. Now, unnecessary in every way. Bye-bye. It's just them approaching, and they're both in the cockpit. They're approaching, and they see just a bunch of stuff happening, and Rey just says, okay, let's go around the back. So I guess she decides in that moment to strategically come up from behind to help out, and then she, you know, it's just a B-roll compilation, I believe. It's kind of presented in a way where it appears to be an extension of the intro into that world, but I think it's just a B-roll compilation of the various creatures and costumes. At the end of the day, credit to them for the amount of effort that went into the practical effects for Canto Bight. Unfortunately, it is the most boring part of the film. And the part of the film that leads me into my little outro here, that I wish they had trimmed even further. I wish instead of 24 minutes of deleted scenes, it was 40 minutes. And they trimmed that whole Canto Bight thing even more. Maybe 10 minutes. Maybe 10 minutes. Maybe 35 minutes of deleted scenes, because they trimmed 10 from Canto Bight and they found a way to put in that Rey rushing to the villagers' defense, because I really would have liked that sequence to have been in the film. And maybe also the Rose biting Hux finger sequence, because that may have sold a few more Rose Tico figures. So that's my analysis. Overall, pretty much everything that went should have went, except for a couple of scenes. Polarizing film, 2.5 hours, and we have this much deleted scenes that shows that it was even going to be even more bloated. When I saw that movie the first time, 2.5 hours felt like 3. It was long. I liked it, I enjoyed it, but it was long. But at the same time, Star Wars has been something like it's been precious to me my whole life, so I can't complain being in a theater and seeing a lot of it. Just can't complain. And I'm going to continue to be in the theater seeing it. I'm going to go see this wretched Han Solo movie that's going to come out in a couple months that we know nothing about. I will be there to see that. I will see Episode 9. I'll see whatever other junk they put out after this until I die, because it's Star Wars, and what the hell else am I going to do? So I hope you liked this video, and if you didn't, or if you disagree with what I have to say about the deleted scenes, please comment below. Subscribe to our channel. We got a lot of other great videos coming up. Krypton review coming up. I'm going to do Lost in Space. Richie's been doing The Walking Dead, pop reviews, food reviews. We'd love to have you along for the ride. Once again, I'm Joe. Until next time.